Hey, so today we're looking at a cool chord concept. It's really just an idea of how to put your chords together in a way that sounds cool and creates movement. So first of all, if you haven't already checked out previous videos on diatonic chords, which really just means knowing what chords are in a key, definitely go and look at that first. I'm going to be using the key of C just as an example, and we'll take a look at all those chords and what families each one of them sits in. There's going to be three basic chord families or groups, and the idea is if you play certain chords that are in the same family, they kind of relate to each other a lot and don't create much movement. But if you go from one family to the other, or one group to the other, you do hear a big jump or change, and it creates a forward movement. So let's take a look. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so if we were in the key of C, right, and I'm just going to basically use this one string major scale here, C to C there, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. We get a chord for each one of those. C major 7, or C, D minor 7, or D minor, E minor 7, or E minor, F major 7, or F major, G7, or just G, A minor 7, or A minor, B minor 7 flat 5, or B diminished, and then we're back to C again where we started. So each one of these fits into one of the three groups or chord families that I was mentioning before. So we have tonic chords, we have subdominant chords, and we have dominant chords. So for tonic, we have the 1 chord, the 3 chord, and the 6 chord. So when we play all three of those chords, they're nice changes, but they don't create very much forward movement because they're all within the same family. For subdominant chords, we have the 2 chord, and we have the 4 chord. So those both fit into the subdominant family. And lastly, the dominant family is either going to be the 5 chord, which was G7, and also the 7th chord, which was the B minor 7 flat 5. And you can actually see how similar those two chords sound. In fact, if you play the B minor 7 flat 5 and you add the G from that 5 chord into the bass, it's actually a G7 chord with one extra note. It becomes a G9. So you can kind of substitute these for each other however you see fit. So notice how there won't be much forward movement here if I only play, let's say, tonic chords. However, if I go from, let's say, the 1 chord, which is tonic, to a 2 chord, which is subdominant, we now have some big movement. It kind of sounds like it went to a new world. So it's kind of interesting when you go straight through all the chords. You get a lot of movement because when you go in order, every single chord change is a family change. Tonic, subdominant, tonic, subdominant, dominant, tonic, dominant, and then back to tonic again. So this is a cool way when you're writing tunes or putting together chord progressions, knowing which chords relate to each other and which ones are big family changes or group changes. That creates a bigger lift in the song. So let's make another example here. This will be subdominant to tonic to dominant see how it's almost like when I take the 3 tonic chords and play around with them, I'm getting chord changes. It's still making changes, but not that big movement that you would hear when you do switch from one group to another. So something to consider whenever you're doing your chord progressions and writing songs. 3 families, stay in one until you want to hear that big move, and then move to the other one, or whatever order you want to try.